Lindsey Graham goes on Meet the Press, and he says a couple of things that I do want to address and kind of break down. So let's listen. This is Meet the Press with Lindsey Graham.
And welcome back. Joining me now is Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. Senator, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you.
So you've just gotten off of the phone with Israeli and Saudi officials. You have new information. What can you tell us?
I will be going to Saudi Arabia and Israel in the coming days with a group of senators. The drive to peace and normalization between Saudi Arabia.
He's trying to save the normalization process of Israel. So if you didn't know, Israel has been in talks and with Saudi Arabia, I'm not sure what other countries, with sort of normalizing, I think it's Saudi Arabia only, with normalizing Israel into Arab countries, basically where they're interacting, normalizing them. And of course, this latest massacre has put that on hold. And I reported on it yesterday. Saudi Arabia, along with others, they're out on this normalization process, at least for now. It's on pause. And I guess him and a group of senators are being sent out there to kind of save this process. So let's listen to Lindsey.
Thank you.
So you've just gotten off of the phone with Israeli and Saudi officials. You have new information. What can you tell us?
I will be going to Saudi Arabia and Israel in the coming days with a group of senators. The drive to peace and normalization between Saudi Arabia and Israel continues. There's a desire by both parties to move forward in this effort to normalize relationships. Israel is talking about humanitarian aid. They're going to turn the water on in the south. They're urging the Egyptians to let people from Gaza.
So what it sounds to my ear, what he's saying, what was negotiated. Israel's going to turn the water back on. They're going to open up a pathway for some Palestinians to leave through Egypt, I think they said. So let me go back and you can hear that again. Oh, I didn't mean to go that far back.
And welcome back. Joining me now is Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. Senator, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you.
So you've just gotten off of the phone with Israeli and Saudi officials. You have new information. What can you tell us?
I will be going to Saudi Arabia and Israel in the coming days with a group of senators. The drive to peace and normalization between Saudi Arabia and Israel continues. There's a desire by both parties to move forward in this effort to normalize relationships. Israel is talking about humanitarian aid. They're going to turn the water on in the south. They're urging the Egyptians to let people from Gaza go into the Sinai. I just got a message from Cindy McCain, the head of the World Food Program. They're in dire straits. So here's my message to our friends in Egypt. Open up, allow Gaza residents to go into the Sinai, to the international community. We have to help. To our friends in Israel, you need the time and space to destroy Hamas. All Palestinians are not the same. If Hamas is destroyed, Israel is safer, and the pathway to peace between the Palestinians and the world gets wider. So I start this morning somewhat optimistic that Iran's goal to destroy the peace process between Israel and Saudi Arabia will fail.
Lindsey Graham, along with a lot of other politicians, are blaming Iran, or saying Iran has a lot to do with the funding, or the backing at least, of this Palestinian resistance through or via Hamas. And let's continue with what he says here.
And you don't think the peace process at this point is dead as we sit here and speak?
No, I've never felt better about the drive to peace by Saudi, Israel, and the United States shall continue. We need to change the world as it is. Nothing would change the world for the better more than Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the United States to form agreements to end the Arab-Israeli conflict as we know it.
I do want to ask you about the crisis on the ground in Gaza. And you have said that Israel should go into Gaza and, quote, level the place.
If necessary.
Are you...
Oh, now he's adding if necessary. Now he's added the caveat, if necessary, because we reported on that. You wasn't saying no if necessary before, sir. So now he's cleaned it up. He maybe he watched himself and he said, wow, I sound kind of unhinged there. So let me add in the if necessary part. But back to the video.
Calling for the full-scale destruction of Gaza despite what... could be untold civilian deaths?
No, I'm calling for the destruction of Hamas. Israel is trying to find a safe place for Gaza residents. Hamas is trying to stop them from leaving. Israel is trying to encourage them to leave. Our friends in Egypt, you have it in your power.
Remember, I told you in another segment, I'm hearing this story more and more and more. Hamas is stopping these people from. It's completely a joke. That's a joke.
Give Gaza residents a safe place. This will be a World War II type operation where you go in and destroy the regime, Hamas, and over time replace it with something else like we did Germany and Japan. But the Israelis do not want to kill innocent people.
Like I said.
They're going to turn the water on. Every death going forward, I blame on Hamas, not Israel.
Well, and of course, 40% of Gaza's population is under the age of 15.
50 under 18, 40% under 15. And we're pretending, this is why they have to act like this is some sort of equal playing field of war. This is why you got to say, oh, Hamas is everywhere over there, because they're literally killing kids. Oh, so Hamas was over there. That's why I blame them. So let me rewind what he says here. Listen to before she starts to talk, what he says. He sneaks this in.
To leave. Our friends in Egypt, you have it in your power to give Gaza residents a safe place. This will be a World War II type operation where you go in and destroy the regime, Hamas, and over time replace it with something else like we did Germany and Japan. But the Israelis do not want to kill innocent people. They're going to turn the water on. Every death going forward.
Israelis don't want to kill innocent people. Just saying shit because of vibes.
World War II type operation where you go in and destroy the regime, Hamas, and over time replace it with something else like we did Germany and Japan. But the Israelis do not want to kill innocent people. They're going to turn the water on. Every death going forward, I blame on Hamas, not Israel.
Every death going forth, I blame it on Hamas, not Israel. That's the same thing Ron DeSantis. You think it's a coincidence they have all the same talking points? Israel has a right to defend itself. Every death that comes, it can blame on Hamas. Hamas is blocking people from blaming. These are State Department, CIA talking points that the media helps to push to cover up these atrocities and Americans' support for it. Kid you not.
Israel.
Well, and of course, 40% of Gaza's population is under the age of 15.
40%.
Are you confident, though? Right now, the people of Gaza are trapped. Are you confident? And are you essentially sending the message to Israel to let them get out before they begin their ground invasion?
Israel doesn't need me to tell them to let them out. They want them out. Israel doesn't. You know, the tit for tat exchange, the old way of doing business, died with the killing and slaughter of the Israeli babies by Hamas. We're not going to do the old game anymore. The goal is to destroy Hamas as a terrorist organization that would liberate the Palestinian people who live in Gaza.
How is it liberating? How is it liberating them to destroy the people that they elected to represent them? So they're basically saying, you fuckers don't want to vote for somebody else, then we're just going to make your life a living hell till you are forced. This is the same tactic that they use with sanctions. Just disgusting.
Time and the space. Egypt, if you're listening to this program, open up your borders. The world will help you deal with these people in the Sinai, and they will go back home. But when they go back home, Hamas will be destroyed.
And I have to ask you the same question I asked Jake Sullivan. What happens the day after if Israel is successful in defeating Hamas in Gaza? Who governs Gaza, Senator?
Okay, here's what I think. That's a really good question. All Palestinians are not the same. They're all not terrorists. The PA is still in existence in the West Bank. The deal between Israel and Saudi Arabia has a Palestinian component. For this deal to really go into effect, the Saudis are willing to help the Palestinians. But the PA needs to change. We got old corrupt leaders. They need to be replaced with younger leaders who are less corrupt. So I have no animosity toward the Palestinian people. I want to destroy Hamas.
The Palestinian Authority, that's when he says PA, that's the Palestinian Authority. That's who they want because those are the sellouts. They got a couple of good people in there. Don't get me wrong, but those are the sellouts. That's the regime, the American sort of puppet regime that took over Iraq, for example. It's not there now, but you get what I'm saying. It's like we go and topple it, and then you install somebody that's friendly to what you want to have happen. That's what he means by a World War II type of thing. You go in and demolish everything, and then you just start to rebuild from there.